So my appearance is like this because I've had a major accident and it's affected my life greatly. Um, and it's also made me do a lot of thinking. So I'm thinking that as bad as I've been finding things in life now, I'm actually doing a lot better than many people out there in terms of the suffering that they're having to endure. The things that can happen in life are absolutely amazing, and then the negative consequences can be almost impossible to imagine. It's just very difficult to imagine the suffering that some people have to endure. So as bad things as bad things are for me, and as hard as I'm finding life to be, I realise that I'm actually doing rather well compared to many people out there. So, for example, I could have lost an arm or something, or lost a leg, and I just find that just insane to imagine the experience that these people have in life. I mean, how could you cope? How could you, for example, cope if you lost an arm in some tragic accident? So you'd be walking around with one arm, or if you lost a leg in some accident, living with one leg. It's just absolutely amazing to imagine how life could be under those circumstances. The injury I've had makes it difficult to talk sometimes, so that's why I sound funny sometimes. But I suppose what I'm trying to say is appreciation is very important. You must understand what you have, rather than just focusing on things that you don't have. But if you have your arms and your legs and your tongue, you have an enormous amount of things already in place. And it is important, I think, to appreciate that, because it can make you see the world in a different way and not just focus on the things that you don't have and the things that frustrate you. You should revel in the things that you do have. You have your arms and legs, you have your tongue and your eyes and your ears. You can hear. You have a brain so you can remember things and you can think. You have teeth so you can chew food. You have a working in bowels and bladder. And, if you have the ability to walk, then that's wonderful. And if you have the ability to pick things up because you have your arms, then that's also wonderful. But these kinds of things are generally never appreciated because our attention is overwhelmingly on the problems that we face and the problems that we have. Appreciation of what we have is very limited, and it's such a shame because when things are then lost, it's more of a problem because you didn't appreciate it in the first place. So generally, this is just to say, try and appreciate the things you have more than just focusing on the things that you don't have. And if you can walk and see and hear and chew your food and go to the toilet, and you can pick things up because you have arms. These things are massively important, and they can be taken away. And for many people, they are taken away. And it's so tragic and unbelievable. I just don't understand how these people manage to survive and cope with such loss. And it's very fragile. Life is very fragile, and these things can happen.